The paradox of freedom. So I've been thinking about this concept a bit lately. The freedom of choice, the freedom to determine our own lives, and how we are caught in this quagmire that comes with it. So I got into this argument with this dude because, and understandable, it triggered some people. And I was talking about how it is unacceptable to be fat. How it is deeply unacceptable to your family, to your children, to your wife, to those who love and adore you, to be fat, to be out of shape. And he stuck into me. And it was funny, I thought, anyway, the irony of this statement. And as we got into it further, it wasn't the statement about being fat. It was that I said it was unacceptable. And he was like, we have the freedom to choose. We do. We absolutely do. We have the freedom to choose. And we can choose to live our lives however the fuck we choose and want to. That's the beauty of this life, that we can choose to live in whatever manner we so desire. And yet there are choices in life that the majority of people would deem, well, unacceptable. You know, being abusive, being a drug addict, these kinds of things. There are choices that people make, ripping people off, abusing the trust of others, all this kind of stuff. We would deem that that is unacceptable. But yet we still have, well, the opportunity to choose however we're going to live our lives. And yet for some reason, more and more and more, we are pushing towards, well, in my opinion, a fucked up society where the choice to be fat, the choice to be lazy, the choice to abdicate responsibility, the choice to not be the greatest version of yourself, to do drugs, to drink alcohol, to eat junk food, to sit on the couch, do nothing, to sedate from this world. That is a perfectly acceptable choice. But if you want to be fit, if you want to be strong, if you want to be healthy, if you want to be the best version of yourself, if you want to be any of these things, well, that's weird. Why are you doing that? Why are you depriving yourself? The choice to live a better life, that's considered weird. That's considered an unacceptable one. And I think we need to shift this narrative back. We need to shift it back to, well, let's be realistic here, what truly matters and what is worthwhile in these areas. That being strong, fit, and healthy should, well, not even should, is normal. It might not be the normal thing in society, but that is the normal state of a man. A man who can look after his family, a man who can do anything at the drop of the hat, a man who is capable of protection and defending, of able to just play with his children. Being strong, fit, and healthy is the normal state. Anything outside of that is the oddity. We need to get back to that. But you're right, we do have the freedom to choose. We have the freedom to choose whatever we want to do in this life. So why don't we start choosing to be the greatest version? Why don't we start choosing to elevate the game? Why don't we start choosing to pursue our own greatness? This is the part that I want to focus on. This is the part that I want to lead a movement in. That we choose these areas, that we don't choose to be average, that we don't choose to sedate, that we don't choose to piss away our lives, that we choose the greatest version. As I said the other day, I had this argument with a friend of mine, and it came from a place of love. And I still firmly believe the greatest form of love, whether that's self-love or love for others, is to hold the line, to hold the ground, to give the harsh truth and do what needs to be done. It's not to mollycoddle and say, it's okay. And that's what too many people do. They want to mollycoddle and tell you that being fat, being out of shape, that sedating from your life is an acceptable life choice. It's not. Like, it's just not. It has damages on how your children view you. It has damages on how they're going to view themselves, on how the habits that they build. It has damages on your health. It limits your opportunities. It limits your life expectancy. It limits how well you function in society. It has all these problems that nobody wants to fucking face. It is unacceptable. You are a burden on society by not being in the best shape, by not looking after your health and fitness. That is not an acceptable option. And the more out of shape, the fatter you are, the more of a burden you are. And that is a reality. And we need to shift that. But I had this argument with this friend, and I had to hold the line. And as I said, it's out of love. It's out of care, because they were like, oh, I wish I could just be more. I wish I could be that version. I wish I could do those things. I wish I could just step in and be that person. Well, you can. You have freedom of choice. You have the capacity. You have the capacity to do or be anything you want. We have the freedom at any moment to step up and be the greatest version of ourselves. At any moment to make different life choices to progress towards the life that we want, need, and deserve. At any moment, you can be that if you are willing to invest into yourself. And this is the gap that people want to abdicate their responsibility. They want to avoid it. And as I said, I had to hold that line, and we had a really hard discussion, but a powerful one, a moving forward one of, well, if you want to be more, then do. Like, it's really that simple. You want to be more, you want to live more, you want to have a better life, then just make that life choice. Then just make that decision. Then just choose that. Like, that's where we're at in this life, that you can have all those things if you so desire. You just have to make those choices. You just have to make the decisions. This isn't a trick. This isn't a trap. You aren't stuck where you are. Now, the choices that are required to, build the body or build the relationship or have the life you want, to be more adventurous, to do things differently, might be unpalatable. It might be. It might be something that you don't want to do. It might have a price that you don't want to pay. But the option is still yours. The capacity is still yours. You can still have those things if you are willing to pay the price. You just have to be willing to pay that price and invest in yourself. We have the freedom, but most people want to execute that quote-unquote freedom to avoid the life, to avoid the responsibilities, to avoid doing the things that are necessary. They want to utilize the freedom of this life, the opportunities of this incredible life, to do nothing, to sedate, to sit on the couch and stuff their face, to chase that instant gratification. And that's an abuse of freedom. That is an abuse of your life. It's a wasted life. You have the opportunity to have it all. You have the opportunity to have everything you want if you are just willing to step up and do what is necessary. If you're just willing to step up and pay the price required. And it might be unpalatable for a while. It might suck for a while. It might be awful for a while. But we spoke about it the other day. You either pay the price now or you pay the price later. At some point, you will have to pay the price for the life that you are living. You can either invest up front, do the diligent work, start doing the work that you're avoiding, and receive the rewards that you so badly desire. Or you can keep abdicating your responsibility. You can keep avoiding it. You can keep putting your head in the sand and kicking it down the line, hoping, praying to God that the price at the end of the day won't be too much. But I can promise you, the price of kicking it down the line will be 1,000 times worse than the price you will pay today. Because there is no other reward. There is no other benefit. There is nothing else to get back. All you get for kicking it down the line is paying the price later, which is going to be astronomically higher, and you get the joy of sedation now. You get the joy of putting it off. You get the joy of that instant gratification that doesn't actually serve you. So the question becomes, my friend, we have the freedom. We've been given this freedom to build our lives the way that we want. The question becomes, what are you going to do with that freedom? Who are you going to become? Are you going to continue to sit on the couch? Are you going to continue to do the bare minimum? Are you continue just gliding by? Or are you going to decide enough is enough? That you're willing to invest whatever is required, time, money, energy, into becoming the greatest version of yourself. Because on the other side of that decision is everything that you've ever wanted. On the other side of that decision is the life that you've been craving. It's not held in high regard for other people that you cannot achieve. It is just waiting for you to make that decision, that you're willing to do what is necessary, that you're willing to invest what is required into being that version. So if you're ready for that, if you're ready to finally put that aside, if you're ready to invest your freedom into being the greatest version of yourself, then comment Demanding Greatness or click the link in my bio and let's see who you can become on the other side of that decision, of utilizing that freedom to be the greatest version. Can't wait to see you then.